This is the second in the series of 3 videos I'm doing at the moment, talking about different aspects of life as a hobbyist photographer. In this video I'm talking about local attractions. I said in the first video, and I'll say it in the next video, which will be talking about unique opportunities, and that is, a lot of this you can do or applies to you whether you do just video, just still photography, or thanks to things like YouTube or websites, social media, you do a mixture of them. I think you can do quite a bit of both of them, or whichever format you prefer. Quite a lot can apply to you in these videos. So local attractions. The reason why I'm talking about local attractions is quite often if you're a hobbyist photographer, you don't have a lot of time, you don't have a lot of opportunity, and of course finances to travel out and about, go all over the place, different cities, different areas, even possibly different countries, and do some photography. If you're like me, you're stuck on public transport, you don't have a lot of money, you don't have a lot of time, you can't really go travelling out and about. So I think if you're interested in going out and about your city, your local area, taking photographs, local attractions can be somewhere that's very beneficial to you. First of all, what are the benefits of local attractions? Well, first of all, as the name suggests, they are local. And I'm going to talk about Dundee in this video, but obviously it varies from city to city, area to area, what the exact local attractions are. Some of them could be more famous than others. Some of them could be nearer than others to you. But generally, certainly here in Dundee, a lot of the local attractions, the Discovery, the Verdant Works, the Transport Museum, the new V&A Museum when it opens in September, they're very near the city centre, and so there's good public transport links to there. Now, well, especially if it's a very famous place, there's normally good public transport, so it's easy to get to. You can hop on to a bus or two and get there relatively quickly. A couple of websites that I looked at said that they thought local attractions should be something to about, 30 to 45 minutes, an hour at the most, was what they would say, or they would term as local attractions. But if especially a big place like say even Edinburgh Castle, or like you said, all of the places in Dundee, or even if they're not, like you said, near your city centre, if they're really famous places, well-known places, there's normally good public links of transport, so you can get there relatively quickly. As I said, even if you have to jump on a bus or two, or if you're in a big city like London, on the underground or subway or two, wherever you are. Once you are able to get there, one of the other things I said, that you don't have a lot of finances. Some of the local attractions here in Dundee, they're actually priced quite cost effectively. The Verdant Works was around about, I think it was at £6.50 for an adult ticket. The RRS Discovery was about £1 or £2 more. I'm not entirely sure about the Transport Museum, but that's quite cheap. And the Unicorn something like £5 or so for an adult ticket. I know it's closed now, and it's actually reopening as I record this Saturday with its summer fair, and hopefully I'll be able to get down there to check that out. But some of the local attractions can be quite cheap or inexpensive, really, when it comes to actually getting in them. Obviously, because that's a worry. If you're a hobbyist, you don't have a lot of money. If you don't have regular work like myself, or you're in the situation where money is tight, obviously you've got to pay public transport, and there's different various offers there that you could take up. And to get into some of these buildings, and a lot of the places, you have to pay an entrance fee. Now, some places around the world, museums, particularly here in Scotland, some of them, McManus Galleries is a great example here in Dundee. There's also Ferry Castle. Those places are free to get into. Some museums have an entrance fee. Some places, museums and other places may have suggested donations, so you could put in as much or as realistically as little as you want to, so you can check them out. Obviously, a lot of places do charge an entrance fee, and so you plan out your visit. You see what you can afford. You see what the things are, what the prices are, and that's where things like websites and social media comes into it, where you can actually check on their social media and on their websites about prices. Now, I'm not saying that all of them will, but some of them might have special offers on their websites, so you can go there to check out. Especially during the summer season, if they want to attract a lot of visitors, they may have certain days that's cheaper than others. You may not pay exactly full price, or they may have periods in the winter or the not so not like say the winter periods if it's open somewhere like a castle or somewhere that's actually open all year round, because some attractions are not that way, depending on where you are, depending on how they're structured. But you can always check on the website, social media, see if there's any special offers for particular days. You can plan your visit there as well. Also, one thing about social media and the websites, most local attractions I think do encourage it, but some places may not like you taking photographs. Some places maybe allow photographs but not video. A few places I went to when I was at school, you were allowed to take photos, but like anybody tried to take video, it was absolutely no go. The kind of days that I wish I had the camera way back then, but you can check on the websites. Some of the local attractions. I went to the RRS Discovery recently, and a couple of weeks ago to the Verdant Works, and they were very encouraging about photos. I asked on the Facebook page, and they said, yeah, in fact, photos are very encouraging. And the lady that I spoke to, Elspeth, and the two gentlemen that I also spoke to at that when I visited were really encouraging about nothing's off limits. Take photographs of whatever you like. Obviously, there's fencing up the Verdant Works, which I'll talk about, just due to the machinery, because the machinery is still active. It still works because they show you some of the machinery and how it works. So obviously there's a little fence in there, areas you obviously don't go right up to the machinery just in case somebody hurts themselves. But certainly they were very encouraging about that. So many places I'm sure do. Places like it's publicity for them, but if you're really unsure, check them with them on social media beforehand, in case you don't want to go there, particularly if you've paid an entrance fee. You don't want to go in there and start thinking, right, I'm going to start taking video or photos and start doing that, and then be asked to leave after you spent all that money getting there and getting in, or only to be met with a negative response. Like I said, maybe at the very utmost asked to actually leave, especially like I said if you've paid all that money. So once you're in, and I know this is a bit long-winded, this video, but once you're in, now this is kind of a difficult part when you're talking about local attractions, because each local attraction is different, the layout is different, the building is different, there's different lights, there's different lighting. It's very, very difficult for me to actually speak about it in depth, and I don't want to go in depth because this video is going to be long anyway, and some people have commented about videos being about 20 minutes in the past, but I would say, you can see, I'm going to put up photos at some point during this video of a couple of the attractions that I visited, the Discovery and Verdant Works. But one of the things that I would say, particularly if you have paid an entrance fee, is take your time going around them. And especially a lot of the places, a couple of places I went to in New York a couple of years ago, you look on your ticket and it's kind of almost valid for like say an hour or 2 hours. And I don't think it's rigorously enforced, but some places are, but that's most the really, really busy places. But if you're in a local attraction, the place is not really going to be, really filled with people, and they're trying to get, trying to kind of move people on. It's not a guided tour kind of thing, which a lot of places do let people wander around at their own pace. Take your time, examine what you're at, where you are, what is on display. Normally, of course, these local attractions, there is, different exhibits, especially like the Verdant Works. Like I said I was going to talk about that. Verdant Works is it's an old jute mill. Jute is an old material grown in India, and just over a century ago, a lot of it was shipped here to Dundee. It's on the east coast of Scotland. Great access across up the River Tay. used to be shipped, grown in India, harvested, shipped to Dundee, processed. Things were made out of jute, like sacks and bags and various different things, and that's what you get at the Verdant Works. You see the history, exhibits related to the whole history, through exhibits from artifacts from India, displays, models, displays of kind of scenes of fields of jute being grown, harvested. Then you see about shipping to Dundee, and you see about the process of different, again, the different machinery used, and what different products can be made from jute, like I said, sacks, bags, and what those sacks and bags are used for. A lot of them obviously kind of go into go into the cargo industry, and I don't know, whole potatoes, or made shopping bags out of them. I had one somewhere. I put it somewhere. I don't know where I put it now to show you. But when I bought from Verdant Works, but you see the whole process. So normally, obviously, the local attraction, whatever it is you're visiting, it'll tell the story normally of where it exactly is. It's like the museum and that kind of area. That'll maybe different exhibitions of different painters or local artists or whatever it is. If it's an actual, I don't know I don't know exactly how to term it, but if it's a kind of permanent display, like I said, an old jute mill or an old factory, or even a castle, it'll tell you the story of who, the families who owned and lived in the castle, battles maybe nearby, and so forth. So you obviously, a lot of some of the attractions, they have kind of a permanent story that you can follow as you go around. Verdant Works is great at that. If you go around, you can get the story in pieces and not in pieces, but in stages of jute being grown, processed, jute being grown, shipped, processed, items made, manufactured out of it. So you'll go through that and you see, say the whole process, and that leads to obviously different types of exhibits. And I said if you did take your time, and I would also say it's a great place because a lot of these buildings, like a lot of these little attractions, like I said, the buildings are different, so you can have different lighting. So sometimes it can be natural, just due to the age of the building. Obviously, some of the buildings may be a listed building, so they're not allowed to do much to it. So they may put in artificial lighting, which may, say, light up a statue in a different way, or they may just be a little darker in different corners. And I would say that's great because you can go around with your camera, and I'm not talking about camera gear, but you can go around, take photos of from different angles, using different focus setups and different ISOs and different apertures and so forth. You can go around, and like I said, especially if you paid your entrance fee, you can take your time, go around place, kneel down and get an upwards angle or a downwards angle, or again, it depends on what exactly it is being exhibited, the space that you have, use it. Try, like I said, look around, see what you're, have a good look at what you're seeing, what's on display, what you can see, even obviously views out of the window, or so whatever it is. You just take your time, have a look around, and basically see what you're seeing. It's like the old catchphrase, TV show saying, just have a look what you're seeing there, and think about different ways that you can actually take different photos. So you can get the standard, just stand there, click, click, move around, click. But obviously if you kind of move towards it, maybe kneel down at the side of a piece of machinery. I didn't get the chance really to do that hugely at the Verdant Works, unfortunately, because I had a couple of things to do, unfortunately, later on that day. But I could easily go back there and do that at some point, and go to different exhibitions. I would also, last point I would say, is that you can actually get some unique photos of the area that you're in as well. If you're like in a castle, or even the RRS Discovery, when I was there I got some decent pictures of the V&A Museum, side on view, that you couldn't otherwise get. Well, you kind of, but if you're on the ship you kind of almost get an unobstructed view of the side of the V&A Museum. So you get different angles of the city or the place that you're in, from a unique viewpoint. So you wouldn't actually otherwise see, like Edinburgh Castle. I haven't been there in years, don't know whether I'll go back to it, but somewhere like that where you get great views looking really down on the city, and different viewpoints, especially if the weather's good, if the weather's clear. And a place like that you kind of have to plan it out a little bit, but you get some unique viewpoints at some of these attractions. If you're high up or at a different angle, you may come across photos or bits of video that you thought, oh, I haven't thought about capturing that, but you go ahead and capture it. So I think local attractions are really good. They're a lot beneficial, especially if you said you're interested in getting out and about, taking photographs of your local city, your local area, what is there in your local area, in your local city. I think there's many places that can be really good, and actually a lot of places you can visit are actually really quite fun. Spend a few hours, spend the day. Like I said, especially if it's not a guided tour and you're not rushed through there. Many of the places that you visit, you can actually be really quite fun. And again, it always helps maybe for you to, maybe you could do it as a project. You could put, like say, a YouTube video of your photos, or like I'm doing, discussing local attractions on YouTube, or put on social media, or it's maybe a kind of portfolio. Some of the photos that you've taken differ your photography skill set or whatever. But a lot of it could be, but actually local attractions, they're underused, underrated, undervalued. But if you're interested in getting out and about, taking photos of your local city or your local area, I think local attractions can be really beneficial to you.